How's it going, guys? I'm Ryan and welcome to another Rhypla builds vlog. On today's video, it's a little bit different. So I guess if you've ordered anything from my website and I've sent you some stuff, you've always wondered, how do I make those perfect boxes where your order is shipped out? Now, today I want to show you where my back area is where I have all my spare stock. This is also where I have my packing area. Yeah, and just a little bit behind the scenes is stuff where behind this door, see that? Behind this door is where it all happens. So yeah, check it out, guys. So yeah, this door here I push over. It's got its own wheels. I designed it so it'll segregate both my shop and my backpacking area. So yeah, let me just run you through on what. As you guys know, I'm very much tight for space and I've got to be really smart on how I organize my space. And if you've been into my shop before, you would have seen how I've set up every single inch of the shop for it to be super efficient. So yeah, my back area is no different. So yeah, let me run you through on each bit. Check it out. Now, this bit here is all of my orders that's due to be picked up, customer holds, stuff like that. So everything's here sort of pre-packed and they're kind of stored here for everybody to come, you know, for me to, I know exactly where to go and where to pick stuff up. Look at that. All of this a little bit messy at the moment. I need to go and get that tidied up. Now there's a box there of some spare cardboard sheet. These are like the recycled Bandai boxes which I use to go and pack up your orders. Laptops here. This laptop here is essentially where I print all the orders and everything else to go. So it's a little tiny spot. I try to keep organized so it's not taking up too much room. Next is my printer. That's where I print all the labels and your orders and so forth and so on. Now, once we go through this side here, this is the what I would call my camera station, charging station. Everything's here. I've got multiple cameras. I've got my DJI Action there. My Sony, my two Sony, and then I'm shooting currently on my Sony ZVE10, I should say. Of course, I've got all my chargers, batteries, everything's there. So if I'm looking for something, all my cables and everything else is all my cables and everything else is being kept here. This side here is where I have my gimbals, my lights, my tripods, and anything there is to do with me shooting content. More stock here, customer holds. These are customer orders to be picked up. Again, just the stuff on top there are all sort of storage stuff. Keep all my bases there. And how many of you guys know what that is? Another one here is where these you know, I've got like sort of my envelopes, my padded envelopes. So here, I try to be really super organized, hey, because if I'm not organized, it's going to be hard to sort of work with everything. These are just smaller boxes of which I send small items to. And then I recycle. These are all the Mr. Color boxes and so on. Of course, this is some black shrink wrap plastic all in here, which I could just wrap things up. Then we have all of my sort of packing items there. We're looking at your some paper, some, you know, I tend to just reuse whatever, recycle some stuff. Now these bits here, you can see, these are pre-cut ends. This exact, if you've received some orders from me, you always wonder how are those ends constructed. So later on when I show you how I put my boxes together, this bit here is important. So that's the end of a master graded size item, which is about 40 centimeters, and these size of end of a high grade, which is 32. Anyway, yeah, 32 centimeters and stuff. My tape, everything else is in there. Excess stock, as you can see. Excess stock is there. Again, I keep everything, try to be super neat. I want to make sure that it's easy for me to restock on what's outside. But for the most part, I try to make sure that all the stock is outside. But as you guys know, my shop isn't as big as it should be. So I maximize everything. Again, these are more spare stock, so forth and so on the side here. That's my bin, which I call the Rhypla build sock bins. Anyway, that's a kind of an inside joke with some people I know, but yeah, we don't sell socks here, but we sell Gundam. And probably the most important part of my packing area is this. So that there is, funnily enough, this is the exact folding table that I built the whole shop in. I think made by a company called Works. Yeah, it's a folding table. I basically cut timber and stuff there. Now, since I've finished building the shop, I've just put some cutting mats, some A1 and A2 cutting mat here, and this is where everything gets cut. So later on, I'll show you how I put bits together. In the bottom here, again, just sort of like, you know, Australia Post, labels, stuff like that. And this thing here is one of my favorite things. This is cool. So this is an automatic. See, it's got 300, 400, 650. So what that is how many millimeters the tape is. It's an automatic tape machine. Boom, there you go, guys. So that's a 50 millimeter bit of tape. It makes it easy, makes it nice and neat. I don't waste any tape. And now, you know, all my blades and, you know, my cutting stuff here, spare blades, whatnot, you know, pens, and I gotta be really organized. Now, this bit here is probably the most important bit on how I make my boxes. So this little perfect 90 degree angle, so your boxes are made absolutely perfect. The second bit is my tape gun, which is that, and then my ruler. So yeah, I'll show you how I construct these boxes up. But yeah, it's all about attention to detail, guys. Like even this, so if I'm packing something, I can just throw it, boom, in there. This thing hangs in here. This bit goes in there, right? So yeah, so that's really kind of the nuts and bolts of how this whole, I mean, there's a lot of storage here, and I really make sure that I maximize the space, because again, as you guys can tell, I'm very organized and I don't like mess, and I really want to be able to make sure that, especially when orders come in, like sometimes I'll get like, you know, when like there's a new release in, like last week I wrapped up 30 something, what do you call it, Gundam narrative, the Type C, like so much of that stuff. So I'm there pumping them out. And actually, just show you underneath here, these bits here are the prepared flat sheets. Oops, prepared flat sheets. As you can see, these are just the old Bandai boxes. So when I finish unpacking my stock, I make sure I cut these all up. And these little markings here is where I sort of measure it out. So this one, see how it lines up there like so? That is the size of a master grade box. So anyway, I'll show you guys in a second how I sort of make it. So that's a master grade, that's a high grade, and so on. And anyway, I'll explain what these things do. But yeah, so essentially, I just recycle Bandai boxes, and how, you know, my average delivery kind of 20 to 30 boxes, and these are quite large boxes, so I've just sort of cut all four sides, finish it off, and that's exactly how it's made. Anyway, let me show you and how I make these boxes. We're gonna wrap these double Zeta. I'll be using this flat Bandai box. So I've turned it inside out, so the nice clean side is on the outside, and I'll pop that in. That's your first angle, right? Can you see? That goes in there. I'll get my knife, put a mark in here. Of course, I'm slowing this down, but usually I do this really fast. So this is the first cut. This goes in there, and that gets cut. Boom, first one gone. So this becomes the first wall of the box. Second cut. Let me just twist that over. So what I'm going to do, pop, cut there, right? Second, look for that cut. Can you see? Yep, there. Boom, fold. That becomes the bottom of your box. Third cut goes in there, like so. Boom. Pop that in there, like so. See, one of the main reasons why I do this is actually a lot stronger because there's no void. So end goes in there like so, folds in, and that's your final cut that goes in like so. And there you have it. One completed box of a master grade. Now I've got to go and tape. That gives you a complete sleeve that sleeves up this whole box. 50mm tape from my tape dispenser. Pop one there. Pop one there. Right? This is, I know already that this is 400mm. Pop that in there, like so. Tape, tape, tape. Boom. And all I need to do now is seal the sides. Now I've got these things pre-cut, like what I mentioned, like that. Pop that straight in there. Sometimes I may need to trim it, as long as the width is the same. Can you see? Let me have a look. Trim that there. And this is where this comes in handy. And that forms the edge. You see it? Forms the edge. See, I've pre-programmed all the sides, so I know exactly that on all master grades is 300mm. Boom, goes in there like so. Whoops. Right? Pop it in like so. The tape goes in there. Can you see that? And pops that in. And then that is the sides. That cut. That bit. In there like so. So not only is it good for the environment, it's also a lot stronger and sturdier. And that end goes in there, right? And then I'll seal it. Seal again. 300. Like so. Inside. Like so. Right. And then finally, I will just go and seal the edges. So what I'm doing now is I'm sealing the edges of the box. Right? It's a bit tricky to try and show you guys this. But yeah, there you go. Solid box, super sturdy. Everything's protected, it's quite thick. So yeah, so I get pretty quick in making these. I can do one in around 2.5 minutes. Really fast, right? So it's a bit slow there because I had to show you guys, but that's essentially how I craft these boxes. Sure, it takes up a lot of time, and also it's just, yeah, it is time consuming, but it's definitely worth it because I do care about how my customers get their parcels, and I want to make sure that yeah, it's protected, there's no crease, and yeah. But anyway, that's just a little insights on what I do, how I make my little boxes. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you're still here, thank you very much for the support. And yeah, it's probably too long of a video now, but then this is kind of just me showing on my day-to-day on what I do here at Rhypla Builds. And as always, anyway, signing off. Can I get a hell yeah? See you guys. See you in the next video. Cheers.